to the TNT podcast, hosted by Tien Brunel and Tony Verga. Please find us on YouTube and like and subscribe to our videos. Today we are going to have Rafael Sigler, who is an actor and comedian in TV and films. He's coming on later.
Oh, Rafael, interesting guy. I know him from my favorite coffee shop.
Yeah.
We got to be buddies.
Okay, what coffee shop? Tell me about it. Where is it?
Priscilla's in Burbank.
Yeah.
It's near Bob's Big Boy.
Okay, I know.
But I've met so many interesting people in that place, and Rafael was one of them. And when I met him, I didn't recognize him, but we'd get to be buddies, and we'd go out to lunch. And we'd go out to lunch, and Hispanic, Mexican, Spanish-speaking waitress would come up, and they'd know him. And I go, how do they know you? I know you're a VO guy,
right,
but how do they know you? He goes, oh, I've had shows on Telemundo my whole life. I go, really? He goes, oh yeah, he had a big morning show, then he had a live game show, then he had a comedy hour kind of show, and he kept blowing up, and every time they'd give him another show, and he goes, you don't know how many people know me. And I'm like, get a hold of yourself. And every time we go out, he'll say, okay, so the waitress just came and talked to me. She went in the kitchen, watch. All the dishwashers are going to come out now and make believe they're putting dishes away. 2 minutes later, the dishwashers would come out, they would wave, and I'm like, holy crap. We went out, he took his wife, and me and my girl went out for dim sum a few weeks ago. We're in Arcadia. Everybody's Asian, right? In Arcadia.
Yeah.
One Hispanic woman is walking by, and she sees him. She goes, Rafael!
Oh, my God.
So I had to take a picture. She had nothing for him to sign, so he signed her change purse.
Oh, my God.
I mean, he's really and now he's breaking out doing other things. He has a new Netflix show that we'll talk about. He's been on The Bridge. He's in a commercial. He's in a Target commercial now. Wow. So he's done a lot of stuff. He's an interesting guy.
How did you meet him at the coffee shop? You just start randomly talking to people?
Yes, that's
what.
There's a little table of folks that I got to know. Most of them are non-industry, right. Retired lawyers, people in the garment industry. And Rafael was like, hey, can I sit down with you guys? Or maybe I asked to sit down with him. And we just became friends. And then the table grows, right? So there's probably about 7 or 8 of us now that are the core.
Well, how often do you go to this coffee
every
shop?
Day.
Every day. Every day.
Every day.
You are one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys.
Like if this was New York, you'd be like, you're playing chess, you're drinking coffee.
I'm just hanging out with the guys. I like the fact that most people aren't in the industry, but it's an industry coffee shop. So there's always people you recognize. Character actors from your favorite show are coming in.
Do you meet at a certain time? You're like, hey guys, I'll see you tomorrow at 7.
No, but if I'll get a text at 8:30, hey, we're here, are you coming? Or I won't be there till 9:15. Who's there? Or come and save me. I'm sitting with so and so.
Oh, that is so fun.
Yeah. So I've met great people. I met Adam Levine, became my buddy there.
What?
Yeah. Did I ever show you the?
No.
I got to show you this picture.
It's weird because I have no friends, so that's.
Well, no, you must do something you must go out and get together with the girls.
I do. I make a point of doing that. My husband doesn't like to get together with other human beings. He likes to just be at home. He's a real friendly guy when he gets there, but he's got a lot of anxiety going. But I make a point, like recently I went to go visit, I used to be a nanny when I was in college. I was a live-in nanny.
How are those kids doing now?
Well.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you how they're doing. Okay. So I'm a live-in nanny. At the time, there were 3 kids. There were 7, 5, and 2. And we lived in Beverly Hills. We lived in Judy Garland's old house, right?
Really?
And it was like the dad's a plastic surgeon. He did plastic surgery for Bruce Jenner just in the 80s, before anybody ever knew Bruce was trying to transition.
Okay.
And she was a lawyer. The kids were fantastic. They went to private school. Their oldest son went to Penn. He went to work for Google.
All right, so you did a good job.
Well, now he is addicted to drugs, not working, and I'm helping them. I just called. I'm going to call a counselor today to get them into family counseling, and I'm doing the full Dr. Phil workup for this family. I even called Mike Baer to get some recommendations. He's a life coach.
Coach Mike,
Coach Mike, right. So can you believe I'm like, everything is coming full circle. I feel like now I've worked for Dr. Phil for a reason, so I can help this family. But I've been in touch with him, and now the son is 34 years old. He was 7 when I worked for him. And I
Wow.
maintained that relationship.
Well, I'm just searching out my picture here.
Let me look. Oh my God.
This is when he just went mohawk, full
Yeah.
mohawk.
Oh my God, it's very recent.
Yeah, it is. It's very recent. This is my buddy. But we just
My
have
buddy.
a lot of people who come in, a lot of celebrity sightings.
I'm gonna break in.
No, you could do that, but again, I might like you,
Right.
but the rest of the table has to sign off on you.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm very likable.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to
Very
work out.
likable.
But I met Rafi there, and it's funny because the guys at the table, they know he does VOs and they see him in a commercial.
Yeah.
But they don't know how difficult VOs are to do,
Right.
how tough it is to break from doing VOs for Telemundo to all of a sudden being on a Netflix show, to having all these different. He's been in several movies. He's been in a lot of, I hate to say, U.S. market commercial, but he's in a Target commercial.
Right.
What says, and he's not doing it Target for Telemundo. It's Target that's running all over. So
Right.
they don't realize how big of a celebrity he is.
Well, I can't wait to talk to him. I'm really fascinated about how he got started and how he's able to keep it up.
He was a flight attendant. So
Well, okay.
he
I
has
don't
an
want to know. I don't want to know.
he has
I
an
wanna hear
interesting
it.
story. But he's going to be here, and we have a good relationship. I get him, he gets me, and English was not his first language. So sometimes we'll talk, and he cracks me up. He's really sharp. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's still filtering through in Spanish and then spitting, but he's a really sharp guy. We have a good time together.
It's funny, but when tourists come to LA, they always think they're going to find the celebrities in like Beverly Hills
Right.
and Hollywood, and that's not the case at
No.
all. Like I used to work on Larchmont, which is in Santa Monica, and I would walk down the street. I remember I walked down the street, this car pulls up, out walks Woody Allen and Sunya Previn standing right in front of me. I'm like, what the heck?
Right.
And like Britney Spears and Kramer from Seinfeld, they'd be in the Whole Foods. There are places that really big celebrities go to live their daily life.
Right.
And Toluca Lake, Burbank's one.
Yeah.
Santa Monica, Larchmont, Hancock Park.
Right.
And
It's not, I remember when I was 19, I took a year off. I moved down to Newport Beach. I came up with my 69 Saab that I bought,
Right.
and I bought one of the maps of the Stars homes. And I remember I was parked in Beverly Hills, and Zsa Zsa Gabor got
Oh
out
my
of a
God.
big Bentley and ran into a store and came out. And I'm like, wow, there's Zsa Zsa. And then I saw Loretta Swit that same day.
Oh,
And I'm
from
like, this is
MASH.
great.
Right.
But I could sit in front of that coffee shop and I could see a character actor. Oh, he played the lieutenant in NYPD Blue.
Yeah.
Oh, I know this guy. He was the next door neighbor for 2 episodes. And those people mean more to me
Right.
because those are working actors
Right,
who roll
there's
up their sleeves.
yeah.
They're not living in a $800,000, 8,000 square foot mansion. These are guys who have to work to get paid.
Well, that's the ideal job to have as an actor, I think, because you're making the money, you've got the benefits, but you don't have the people chasing you
Right.
down, and you can still live your day-to-day life.
Yeah, and they're more apt to be cool with you.
Yeah.
Like if I go, hey man, I love you on NYPD Blue. I met a guy the other day. He was a character on NYPD Blue. He goes, thanks, and he talked about it, and it was fun.
Right.
As opposed to a big actor like who's the guy who was in Birdman? What's the little guy?
Oh, Michael Keaton?
Yeah, about a year before Birdman came out, Michael Keaton is pacing. He's in front of Priscilla's pacing. By the way, he's as tall as you.
Yeah.
He's not a tall guy. He's pacing back and forth. He's on the phone. Obviously, somebody's not meeting him. And it would have been, because I hadn't seen him in anything since
Right.
Birdman. It would have been nice to say, hey man, I enjoy your work. But he didn't seem like the type of guy. He was very
right,
wired.
right. Don't want
But
that.
guys who played the postman, in a TV show, or
Like
guys
what?
who delivered the mail, in my favorite episode of, St. Elsewhere,
Yeah.
those guys are cool,
Yeah.
know. So I love that coffee shop. I love the people from that coffee shop, and it's just fun. So Rafael will tell you how we met him. It's going to be fun.
All right, coming up, Rafael Sigler. We are with actor and comedian Rafael Sigler.
Whoa, he loves that.
Me
He has a
too.
whole title and
There's a
VO
lot going
artist.
on with
Yeah, he does a
Rafael.
lot. I want to hear it.
Well, it's funny because Mike, our producer, writes notes for us. And he says, Rafael Sigler, more importantly, he knows Tony from the coffee shop. But let me tell you, Rafael, you prefer Rafi or Rafael? I mean,
It's the same.
okay.
Yeah, you can call me anything you want.
I met Rafi at the coffee shop. I didn't know who he was. He'll tell you I knew him from another location. But once I start checking this guy out, and everybody always IMDb's everybody. This guy's done everything. Started Telemundo was a big break for you, I would imagine.
Yeah. Hey, hi. By the way,
This is Tien.
Thank you for having me. I know you, Tony. Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Yeah, I started in Telemundo. I have to
It's
say
Mike.
thanks. Mike. Well, Frank. No, it's Frank. It's next to Mike. I was gonna say it. So yes, I started in Telemundo. Telemundo was one of the first things that I did.
But it was big. You didn't just start there. It blew up, right? You went to a morning show.
Well, I went to a morning show. I started doing the 6 to 7 a.m. morning show live. And we thought it was going to be something that just to fill, the slot, the time slot. But it blew. And everybody started watching the freaking show. Don't ask
I
me
want to
why.
go back way back and to see
Sure.
how you got started in entertainment.
Well, you were a flight attendant.
I was a flight attendant.
Okay.
I love this.
Well, this is the thing. I when I was living in Mexico, I always, I wanted to be an actor all the time, and I was always like, doing in school. I was always playing music and doing anything like artsy, And so then when I decided to quit school, I told my dad, I don't want to do this anymore. What do you mean school? It's like, I mean, I'm not learning anything that I want to, or it's gonna make me money or anything. I mean, so I to start doing acting school in Mexico, blah blah blah, but never actually, I never worked professional in Mexico. I was just preparing for
Your
Right,
big break.
right.
my big break, who I'm still preparing for. Anyway, so then I decided I was gonna be a pilot, but then I decided to become a flight attendant. And I worked as a flight attendant for 6 years.
What airline?
Mexican Airlines. They now disappear, unfortunately, Mexican Airlines. And I loved it. I think it was, I was 22 years old, that young, beautiful age. And I was living with mom and dad. Because in
That's
Mexico,
great.
you live with mom and dad until they are 50, or you get married before. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. So I was living with mom and dad, and I decided to become a flight attendant. And voila,
You got a lot of girls.
I got a lot. Yes, yeah. I used to score a lot. Like Beavis and Butthead once talk about me. Believe it or not, this is a true story. I'll tell you later. And they said, I bet this guy score all the time. And it's like, yeah, I used to score all the time.
With people on the plane or with other attendants, and how does that work?
Actually, both. All of the above. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you ever score on a plane?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, I have. Yeah. You imagine this. I mean, it's like, please, people, it doesn't happen anymore. Don't do it. I did it because I was irresponsible and young and crazy. But I used to be on the plane, sitting on the 5th row, making out with a passenger.
Unbelievable.
And
Well-
Mexicana Airlines went out of business.
Well, yeah. Now, fortunately, Mexican, it's gone now because I would probably get sued. I don't know, but or in jail, or threw me in jail. But the thing is, like, I was making out with a passenger on the 5th row, and a friend of mine used to bring us beer.
And he didn't mind you making out with him?
No, no, oh my God, no. This is a true. I mean, I know it's difficult to hear, but yeah.
Well,
And
yeah,
we're
I get
from
it.
Chicago, flying from Chicago to San Luis Potosí, and one of the night flights, we call it tecolotes, which means like owl flights. So you take off like at midnight, and then you land in your
I
destination.
want to
knew
book
it.
that
I
flight.
knew
So-
it.
So tell me,
Yeah.
how do you go from flight attendant
Uh-huh.
to Telemundo, that's a big jump, no?
It is a big jump. Well, when I was a flight attendant, and then I decided to, okay, this is enough. After 6 years, it's like I had too much fun. I was getting depressed, to be honest, and it's like I used to see. I mean, with all the respect for everybody else and everybody who's done it for like so many years, which is fantastic. If that is your thing, good for you. But for me, I said, like, I cannot be here for more than 6 years. I'm gonna jump out of the plane or something because this is getting me not happy. So I decided. My brother at the time, he was living in Los Angeles, and he had an ad agency, and he was involved with everything media and blah blah blah. And because of my beautiful voice, you can hear, he used to tell me, you should do voiceovers. You should come to, the LA and blah blah. The market is opening. It's really good. Latino population is growing. Big brands are now like advertising and spending the same amount of money. So it's like
In
you should
Spanish
come in
television.
Spanish television. Yeah, and of course, if you want to be an actor, this is the place to be. At least this is the place where you should study. So and it's like one of the academies that I always was like crazy about it. It's the Stella Adler Acting Academy. And I said, one of these days I'm gonna be there. So he's like, why one of these days? Do it now.
So you go to
Jerk.
LA, you join
And then
Stella.
and then I just quit, like literally quit. It was New Year's, and then New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day, and then January 2nd, I was at the office of Mexicana Airlines, the building right in the center of Mexico City. Went upstairs and quit. And the office where you quit, there was no one there because nobody wanted to quit. I think there was only one person in that office. And like, you're quitting? Yeah, right now. I think you're at the wrong office. Like, no, I'm quitting.
I'm
So
quitting.
I quit. Yeah.
Did you go to Stella Adler?
I did. I did.
Get that?
I auditioned for Stella Adler, and when I auditioned, this is an interesting anecdote about what happened. I went to a couple of the Irene Gilbert. She was the director, and she was the one kind of auditioning you for because you couldn't just like pay and get in. It's like no, I mean,
Doesn't work
why?
like that.
Yeah,
You had to have they had to see something. in you.
yeah, and especially if you're a foreign person and your English is not your first language and this and that, it's like, so, I had a couple of auditions with her, a couple of interviews, and she said, yeah, okay, you're in. And it's funny that you said, like, it's interesting that you just came to this country and your English is not as bad. Because, we used to have this young actress from Mexico, and she came and she's awesome. She's fantastic. But after 6 months, we have to tell her to just go and take some classes, English classes, and then come back. We'll love to have you back. You probably know her. She said, Irene Gilbert said this to me. It's like, because she used to be a big soap opera in Mexico. So like, I might. Who's that? Yeah, it's Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
And this is a true story. And it's like, heck yeah, I know Salma Hayek. She's like, yeah, so hopefully she's going to get a little better and she's going to come back. And
boy.
now, when you walk into Stella Adler in Hollywood, the first picture you see
Salma
next
Hayek.
to Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, it's Salma Hayek. Go
So
figure.
how did you
Not
get?
mine, but Salma
Not
Hayek's.
yet.
Not yet.
How did you get to Telemundo?
Well, I started working as a PA with my brother. My brother was producing commercials, and doing this and that. And I just want to learn the ropes, and blah blah blah. And at the same time, I was kind of auditioning for parts. And this morning show, they needed a host, so I went to the audition. And because a friend of mine, who at the time was my brother's girlfriend, she was already picked as the host for the show. So they needed a male host. So they brought me into the Channel 52 Telemundo in Glendale when they used to be in Glendale. And I went there and there were like 40 other guys auditioning for the part. And the funny thing, it's like everybody it's interesting because most of the time auditions, you go and it's like you go into a room, you see them and then you go and you don't see the other guys' auditions.
Right.
But in this case, we were all in one studio, one sound stage, just sitting there and you see the other guys auditioning. It was kind of weird.
It was weird, huh?
At the time, it wasn't for me because it was my first audition. In a way, I thought it was all the same.
Right.
But now that I, thinking back, it's like, that was
weird.
Yeah. So I remember all of these guys, like 6 feet tall, beautiful guys and this and that. And it's like, and then the first thing they ask when they, stand in front of the camera is like, tell us what you done. And they're like, oh, I did More Than She Wrote. I used to do this, and now I'm doing it. This is all in Spanish. I mean, they did it in English and Spanish, but of course the show was going to be in Spanish. So they were like, the resume were impressive.
And then you were like,
Unbelievable.
I was a flight attendant.
Yes.
I made out with somebody. On
Yeah,
the
when I
fifth
stood in
floor.
front of the camera, it's like, what have you done before? And it's like, I was flight attendant, and this morning I had breakfast and came here. And basically, that's what and it's like, oh, okay, so this is what you're gonna do. So I did my thing and I got the job.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
fantastic.
And
that
it
was
blew. It did well.
Because that was local. That was just local.
And then after that, you did a game show that blew up.
Also Los Angeles. That was for Channel 22. That show got canceled after a couple of years.
Wait,
Yes.
wait. Now, were you svelte like this? Because I know you said in the past you were
That sounds
overweight.
nice. Yes. No, I was. No, I was like the way I am today. The blowing up. I'm literally the blowing up was a little after.
Oh, so you were
Yeah.
thin, got heavy, and then lost
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Unfortunately, I came here and I got in,
Success.
Fast food.
fast food. Yeah, crazy. And being by yourself here and you think I work too much, let me eat a lot. And
Yeah,
was a
stress. We're
recipe.
stress eaters.
Yeah, totally.
Were you shocked when you started having fans and then people would recognize you? And
Yeah.
know- how did that feel?
Oh,
It was weird. It was a really interesting feeling. Because you think like nobody's watching at 6 a.m. I mean, I thought literally no one was watching from 6 to 7 a.m. But then you go on the street, I remember the first time I got, and this is true, the first time I got recognized, I was at a 7-Eleven on San Fernando Road and Western, right in Glendale, like 2 blocks from the studio. And I was like, it was 9:30 in the morning. And this is gonna sound weird, but I was just there paying for something, and then I see like 4 cholos walking in, really like threatening looking dudes, and I can say cholos because I'm Latino, so I'm allowed.
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
You say.
So, and then it's like, yeah, they're like loud, yeah, dude. And then one of them like, hey, are you the dude from TV? And I was like, what? Me? Oh, you're talking to me? Sí, tú eres el güey de la tele. Yeah, yeah, I get, depending. I mean, it depends. So the guy said like, oh my God, hey, this is the guy from the book. Oh, I love you, dude. My grandma watches your show every morning and you're fantastic. You make her laugh, brother. And whoever makes my grandma laugh, I love him. And it's like, good, and I love you too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I've been out to lunch with him. Now, I knew who he was. I knew he was on Telemundo, but that's not my world, right? I don't watch Telemundo.
Right.
So we'd go out, and I remember he would say to me, "Oh yeah, the waitress just spoke to us. She's Mexican. She's gonna go in the kitchen, and then you're gonna have a couple busboys come out. You're gonna have a couple dishwashers come out, and they're gonna look our way." And I'm thinking, you better check yourself, dude. I mean, really, who gives a shit that we're in Denny's? And always. They come out, they wave to him, he waves to them, how you doing? He gets the extra iced tea, he gets his lemonade filled up. I'm like choking to death. They're talking to him. It's really unbelievable. Like people always recognize him. He's always nice to people. And as I was saying before, it's not like De Niro or guys like that where people are dogging him. People just say, hey, how are you? And it's a nice thing. It's a respectful thing.
Yeah, you know what it is? I think because the difference between like actors like that, it's like you're an actor, you're always playing a part. But I started doing TV, being myself. So they treat you as a friend. Yes. And I love that. Until this day, people come to you and say like, hey, Rafa, how are you? Like they call me by my first name. They come to me and say like, hey, this is my wife. They introduce me to their family, and if I'm with my family, I do the same.
Right.
Because if they're doing it white, I should do the same. It's the polite thing to do. But I love that because people treat you.
You're a
as
person.
A friend.
You're Rafael.
Yes,
You're
I'm
not
Rafael.
playing a character.
Yes, I'm not playing a character. I'm being myself, and I think you can't lie when you're in front of a camera or in front of a mic. You are who you are, and people know that. People feel that, and I love that people really feel that. Whatever I'm doing on TV, I'm really having fun. Because this is what I was born to do, and I love it, and I'm making money, and it's like this is my dream, and I'm happy. There's no other place that I would like to be.
Now, take us from being Rafael on TV, on a game show, on a sitcom, doing a radio show or whatever. I don't mean sitcom. How does it go from being you, fun guy, to now you're into the world of VOs?
Yeah.
And now you're doing commercials. You're in a Target commercial.
Yeah.
How do you go from that? Was that a difficult transition from being Mr. Personality, who you are, to a little bit more disciplined and doing reads the way they want?
I think you said the magic word discipline, because one of the things that you have when you have a show and everything doesn't mean that you're not supposed to be, you don't have discipline, but that requires a completely different discipline.
Right.
It's like now you need to like do your thing. That's when I gained weight. Then I lost the weight. I was still booking jobs as a TV host, even being like 90 pounds overweight, because it was you. I mean, people love you.
People love your personality.
Yeah, but then if you want to like become not in VO, but when you want to start doing commercials, and especially if you want to start acting,
Right.
you don't want to be like
Typecast.
and because anyways you're gonna be, because you're Latino, you're Mexican, and you're gonna get probably typecast all the time. But you don't want that. So yeah, it requires a completely different. It's like starting a new job. It's like starting a new career. To be
Right.
honest, people think it's like the transition is easy. You know, okay, now I'm gonna do. You know that we know that because we heard people saying like, I think I'm gonna become an actor, and I'm like, really, dude? You're like 40 years old. You were working in metro station, and now it's like out of the blue, you decided to become an actor. Good for
or
you.
they're an actor and they're not booking work, and they go, "Well, I want to be a voice actor."
Yeah. Oh my God, I hear that all the time. People is like, "Oh, you do a lot of voiceovers, and you do this and that and that." I think I'm gonna do that, and I go like, "Good for you." It took me 20 years to be at the point where I am now.
Do you remember the
Fortunately, it's a
first
lot of
time you
work.
got paid to do a commercial? The first time they put copy in front, not a
Yes.
promo for the show.
No, the
but
commercial.
something-
Yeah, it was for Inglés sin barreras. It's English without barriers. Remember that? Everybody knew the course because they used to be the most famous English course out there.
Right.
And
Do it. Can you remember?
well, I was on
English,
camera.
what's it called? English without barriers?
Yeah, Inglés sin barreras, English without barriers. It was, they used to advertise. I mean, they used to spend millions and millions of dollars literally in advertising in Spanish.
And what was the product?
It was an English course. It's
Oh,
to
it's an
teach,
English
yeah,
course.
Yeah.
to teach people English. And I remember it was way too expensive, and it did work. But at the time, there were the VHS tapes, like 20 tapes, and it was. But these people is the guy who owned the company, who become a millionaire, maybe a billionaire. The guy used to own a building in Beverly Hills and everything. This course was so. Went internationally. He was Chilean. This guy is a really interesting dude. So they decided to hire me as a spokesperson.
Okay.
So now, even if you go on YouTube and you put Inglés sin barreras and my name, you would see the commercials.
Did you ever take the class?
No, actually, no, I never did. But to be honest,
But Selma Hayek, yes.
Yes.
Selma Hayek did, maybe. Yeah, you never know. We should ask her and come to talk to us. But yeah, that was the first time I need to be in front of the camera and advertise something, and it became really successful. And with those companies, there's no like, is it working or not? It's like you said, call this number and order, and if they don't call, you're fired.
Right.
Basically, you're
But
done.
they were calling.
But they were calling. So I did it for 15 years.
Wow.
For 15 years.
That
I
was
might
fantastic.
probably I did, I don't know, like 80, 100 commercials.
I've seen
different
you
ones.
dress like a doctor on TV with
Oh,
the
yeah.
white coat. What was that for?
Oh, that was for Cialis? No. Something
Affleck?
like, well, that was Affleck. That was
Okay.
the Affleck commercial. Yeah.
And then you were selling insurance?
And now I'm selling insurance.
No, Freeway. Was it Freeway?
I'm still doing it. Yeah.
You're still
It's
doing
that
it?
still
thing you're
doing it.
driving on.
There you go. Oh, there you go. That's the selling line in English. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I told you the other day, what is more mainstream American than Target, right?
Yeah.
And you are in this Target commercial.
English and Spanish.
and it's
Yeah.
and it's English. It's the red. Everybody's dressed in red,
Yeah.
and you're playing a little. And I'm like, that's Rafael, and
Yeah.
they made you look older.
They
You had
made
to
me
look
look like a granddad.
grandfather or
I'm a
something.
grandfather there. Yeah. Hey, they pay
But
me.
isn't the
I'm a grandmother if
transition
you wanted to.
unbelievable?
Yeah, I
But
could
you
be.
had to audition for that, just like everybody else,
Yeah,
right? That
yeah.
wasn't like a referral or anything.
No, that was an audition. I mean, you still need to audition. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like you need to go through the, system.
I mean, my
and
kids
do
have
your
to do
thing.
those Target auditions all the time.
Yeah, because they're always advertising.
Right.
They have a lot. And there was a great shoot that just happened like 3 months ago, and it was a 3-day shoot. And the nice thing, it runs in the English and general market and Spanish market,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. It's a good
What
payday.
is your goal? Do you want to do TV, film? Do you want to stay in commercials? What do you want to do?
I'm actually, I mean, I always consider myself an actor, and I came here to
That
become
makes
an
one of
actor.
us.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. But I put it kind of like on the side because I was hired to be a host, and after that I host a lot of other shows, for Telemundo radio shows. I work with Univision Radio, Heftel Broadcasting, Lieberman Broadcasting, and I have all time slots. It's crazy because
And you've always
I'm
been
done.
busy. You're always going doing
Yes.
a VO. You're
Yeah. Fortunately, we were just talking about this before starting, the interview. It's like you need to get all sorts of incomes. And,
Yeah,
you
a working
know.
actor means you are working and doing as much as you can to
Yeah,
survive.
and I gotta be honest, I'm humble about this and really grateful that in the last 24, since I moved here almost 26 years ago, I haven't done anything but something related to acting. Going back to your question, yeah, that's what do I it's a difficult question for me to answer because I want to keep doing everything.
Right.
If I can, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna keep doing radio. I want to keep doing my VOs. That's for sure. Which, by the way, one time when I was the big shot in Telemundo, I was the #1 talent in Telemundo at the time because I had a game show prime time Monday to
Oh
Friday.
my goodness.
So I used to look at everybody like bunch of losers. I'm the guy, which I completely that was ridiculous. At
That's
the
the
time.
old Rafael.
Yeah, that's the old Rafael. I'm not that anymore, but yeah, sometimes
A
I
little
like
bit,
it. Like,
maybe,
yeah,
a little bit.
Some depending on who's whatever.
So what was the game show? Like people
That-
dressed scantily clad women with big breasts, like all the other
yeah,
shows.
that part. Check. Yeah. It was called Dando y Dando, which means giving and giving. That's a saying in Mexico. When someone is really nice, they say, "Oh, that guy keeps dando y dando. He keeps keep giving and giving." So that was the name of the show, and it was I think the only show. I went back and I went to Wikipedia, and I keep trying to find out if there's any other show that done that before in this country
You
or any
mean
other
with the
part.
ratings?
No, it was broadcast live,
Oh, a
coast
live-
to coast.
Oh
live
my
game show.
gosh.
So it wasn't like they recorded or pre-tape it.
No, it was
you
live.
Know,
Yes.
but no, it was live at 7 p.m. LA, 10 p.m. East Coast. It was
Wow.
being broadcast.
Wow.
So at the time, you were #1 guy on Telemundo.
Yeah.
People who don't watch Telemundo don't realize how gigantic, what a monster that is.
Telemundo is as big. I don't want to compare with ABC or CBS, but it's kind of there.
It's there.
in
Yeah.
terms of how many people watch it, because it's not only the U.S. It's Mexico and every Spanish speaking country in the world watches Telemundo. So we're talking about millions and millions.
Have you
and
ever
millions.
traveled abroad and had people approach you?
Yeah. For me, to be honest, one of the best, the best feeling, it was when I went to Mexico, my country, and went back to see my dad, and people recognized me on the street. I was like, hell yes. It's a feeling like, not that you want to feel like I made it, or I'm more than anyone else, or what I do, it's more important of what you do. But it's a good feeling. It's like, okay, what I'm doing it
It's
right.
validation.
It's validation that you're doing it and doing it right. And especially when you actually had to leave your country to do it.
Yeah.
That feeling of coming back and feel appreciated by your
So you were
people,
bigger.
it's nice.
You left Mexico
Uh-huh.
to come to LA to do shows in LA.
Yeah.
A Spanish-speaking show in LA that you couldn't book in Mexico, right? Because this is where Telemundo was. Is that the?
Well, the thing is, because I didn't even know about Telemundo. I wasn't interested about working. I auditioned once for Televisa, which is the biggest Spanish broadcaster in the world.
Right.
And I went to like a general audition, and they loved me and everything, but that never went anywhere. So that's when I decided to just move on, and that's when I became a flight attendant. But no, I wasn't. No, never.
Are you going into drama?
Well, this is the interesting part. The things that I'm playing now are more into drama.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting because I think I'm way too close to my dark side all the time. So for me, it's easier to get there.
And people can see that because
Yeah.
just on the outside, it seems like, oh, you're funny, you're comedy.
Yeah, but
he is all that, but he also is a sick bastard.
Yeah, oh, hell yeah, for sure. And I think when you can make people laugh, don't get me wrong, actors out there listening to this, it's easier to make people cry than to make people laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can make people laugh, it's easier. I don't want to use that term, but it's the transition for being a comedian to become a dramatic actor. It's a little easier than if you're a dramatic actor and suddenly you want to make people laugh.
Think of all the. I'm thinking of three guys in my head who are, you think of them as funny guys. Jackie
yeah.
Gleason.
Most
Yeah.
comedians are
But
depressed.
Jackie Gleason did
dramatic
some
actor
movies
was-
where you would
yeah.
watch it and your throat would well up.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, there you go.
He started out, in drag, right?
Yeah.
And he does some really great stuff. Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Another guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get it. What's this new project? I know it's not going to come out gentified. Tell us. about it.
Gentified, yeah.
Gentified.
Yeah.
I said it like in America.
Yeah,
Come
gentified. Come on, Tony, really? Yeah.
How do you say
He's
it?
You're
so
half
light.
Italian, half
Half Italian,
yeah,
half Latin.
Portuguese. Yeah.
Say it
Half
again.
Italian,
Gente
just half
fight.
racist.
Gente, which I know, right?
She's
Gente,
so-
which means I love it. I love it. Give him some. Give him some. I love this.
Say it.
Gente means people. So it's a play on words. Gentified, because the word it's supposed to be gentrified.
Right.
So it's a show that's coming out on Netflix, and it's about the gentrification of Los Angeles and how these three millennials deal with the gentrification. I'm not one of the millennials, in case you were wondering.
I was going to say that has to be special effects budget has to be over the top.
Yeah, like the Brad Pitt movie. What was the movie? Yeah,
Oh, Benjamin Button.
Yeah, there you go. So it talks about gentrification, which I think it's quite a subject, because it's not only happening in Los Angeles; it's happening everywhere in the world.
Everywhere.
If you go to Mexico City, where I was born, I wasn't born in Mexico, but I was raised in Mexico City. The gentrification, it's scary. It's certain parts of the city that used to be like crappy parts. Now it's like really nice, but we don't realize that the people who used to live there and used to be nice people, good people, working people, because not all the people who was living there was bad people. They get pushed away. They get kicked. And it's like, what are
Where
they
do they
going to do
go?
now?
Where do they go?
Some of
They go to North Hollywood.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
where they go.
Yeah, or they become homeless people.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
after living. In this case, that series is interesting because it was first a web series, and after becoming a web series, the first year that Sundance decided to incorporate web series into their competition and roster, they decided to pick us. So we went to Sundance with the web series, and after that, a lot of people got interested. And 2 years after, fast forward, now Netflix picked it up to become
Is
a
this
show.
Spanish speaking or English?
No,
speaking?
it's English speaking. Actually, there's a lot of Spanish speaking. But my character speaks like 80% English and 20% Spanish, because it's
like real life.
like real life. Yeah. Believe it or not, yeah. It's like, and he's the owner of a bar. So I don't own a bar, but I go to bars a lot. And it's an interesting character. It's a great character, because this character, what I like, he deals with drama, but also comedy. He's kind of like a wise ass guy, and and I love it. It's good.
Well,
I'm happy.
We were talking about the coffee shop before, and we sit with 6 or 7 guys. Rafi's one
Well,
of
I
them.
wanted to know, how did you meet Tony? Actually sit down and actually speak to him. He doesn't really remember if he invited you.
Because he doesn't talk to anyone.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
well, he
on.
doesn't-
Just gotta
he
be
doesn't
honest.
talk to
Yeah,
me.
I mean, he really talks. I mean, he's in front of a mic. but-
Wait, I don't talk to
11 years
people
with
at
this
the
guy,
coffee
he never
shop.
speaks
Well,
to me.
girls, he does. I mean, not
Mhm.
like he has a girlfriend, but I mean, he's good.
I don't talk to people at the coffee
No,
shop.
you do. Not like Robert, but that's another.
No,
character.
well, this is the thing. We got to know each other just from he would sit at the table. I
Yeah.
would.
You sat down next to him and started speaking.
Actually, and this was a long time ago. This is like 17 years ago.
Yeah, it's a long time.
I
was
started going to the coffee shop because
Right.
funny, we used to be neighbors. We didn't know we were neighbors, but so I started coming to the coffee shop, and I think I was always sitting by myself, and then he was sitting with someone else, and then I spoke to them and say hi to them after like a couple of weeks. He's like, "Hey, dude, do you want to join us?"
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, but I'm Mexican." He said, "Yeah, I don't see color."
No,
I
I
said, "I'm colorblind."
Again, you had the rake in your hand.
Yeah.
No, so the thing is, when we sit there,
Yeah.
everybody is bringing whatever history they have to that
Yeah,
coffee shop.
that's fantastic.
We have one guy from New York. We have Robert, who's a New Yorker who is a lawyer. We have a guy who is a postman. So everybody are these people sitting in a place from where nobody grew up. Nobody's from LA.
No.
Everybody's sitting around this coffee shop talking about weather, firstly.
First of
Everybody's
all,
talking
yeah,
about weather.
yeah.
But
Just
there's
old
not a
man
lot of
stuff.
industry
Yeah, totally.
people. It's not a lot of industry people other than Rafi and I.
Yeah.
There's
no one
really
else.
no industry people. So it's interesting to hear their take on our industry.
Yeah.
Like somebody will be like, "Oh, Meg Ryan, she's not booking
That
anything.
happened a
Her
couple of
career
days-
blew up." I go, "She had a 35-year career. She
What are you
was
talking about?
successful.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just relaxing now. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, and she's married to John Cougar Mellencamp, so she doesn't need to make any
who
money.
is?
Meg Ryan.
Is
She is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh,
She
yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
need to make any money.
I
mean,
wish I knew
I'm
that.
sure
Write
she
Bring
that
gets
that
down,
up.
Ralph.
Bring that up at
Bring
the
that.
thing. I said I should come, but they won't like me.
No, I don't.
You'll be my personal
Yeah, but
guest.
Ralph,
Yeah,
isn't it
better.
true?
Yeah.
I don't want to say who, but
Oh,
there's a new
boy.
guy sitting at the table.
Yeah.
And, we all talk about everybody. We gossip, guy gossip. It's not bad.
Yeah, the moment you leave, I mean,
No,
you're not even like 5 feet away. People start like going
What
at
a
you.
piece of shit.
Yeah,
No,
so what is wrong with his
I don't
outfit
want to
today?
say who, but Rafi says to me, you know the new guy at the table? I go, yeah. He goes, I don't like him. Did you say that?
Oh yeah, I did. Oh, hell yeah.
You have to have something. You have to bring something.
Right.
Yeah.
You could be odd, but you can't be too odd. You could be different, but you can't be too
How
different.
old's the new guy? Is it because he's too young?
No, actually, no. I don't think we don't have that ageism.
No, we're not in
going on.
ages. We
No.
have people in their 20s.
And what people in their 90s almost.
Yeah,
believe
we
it or
do
not.
have
Yeah,
people in their 90s.
86 or something like that.
Again, you hear the cheap shot? That's Tony.
I know, I saw that. No, I think it's because some people try too hard when they join the group, you
Yeah.
know, and you
They
you
have
just
to
sit
tell
there.
you how cool they are
Yeah.
or what their resume is.
Or they start being loud and like laughing.
Well, this-
You
Well,
know,
this
don't
guy's
do
an
that.
actor. This guy's
Yeah.
an actor.
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully he doesn't hear
Rafi
this.
sees it as, oh, he's an actor, huh? I don't
No,
want him
No,
at the
Is it
table.
like a
it's not
competition?
that. Yeah, but when you try too hard, you know what it is? I think it in order to be made, forget it. I mean, there's only a few of those that are made. But if you want to be there, be part of the group, you need to sit back, shut the fuck up. Sorry.
Yeah,
can I
yeah,
swear?
yeah.
Yes, you can
And,
swear.
and just
And by
And
the way,
watch
not
and
only
listen.
can you be made, but you could be whacked.
completely. Yeah.
You could just be.
You should see. Team was like, what?
Well, no. If you don't like the guy, are you going to cut him? Do you just start going at a time and you don't tell him that you're?
Oh,
no,
no.
there's gonna be someone at some point who's gonna tell him, dude, you know, move on.
Yeah.
You know. Oh yeah. Because, like I said, we have 80-plus-year-old people
Yeah.
from New York
Right.
who they're
not afraid to
the
tell
things.
people.
Oh hell no, they will go like, seriously?
Well, we've all had, like, I've had that run in with Clancy one
Oh
time.
yeah. Well, you heard him. I gotta be honest. Like you heard a lot of people at work too, and we know that, right, Tim? Yeah.
I don't hurt anybody. But I had a little blow up with Clancy. He chose not to come anymore.
Well,
I
it's
felt
like-
bad
you
about
need
it
to
for a
have thick
couple
skin,
weeks, but
you
What
know?
was that blow up about?
I found a personal trainer. We're going to the park every day.
Okay.
She goes, where do you go in the morning? I go to this coffee shop. She goes, oh, I'm going to go there and hand out my card. I said, don't go there and hand out your card and use my name.
Right.
If this works out, I'll give your card to people. But I'm begging you, don't go there and use my name and sit at our table. That wouldn't look cool.
Right.
Next day I show up.
No.
She's sitting at the table in her workout gear.
Unbelievable.
And she's talking
And she
to a
was
couple
hot.
of people.
She was hot.
So I text Clancy. I go, Clancy, it's Tony. Call me. Because I don't want to park.
Right.
He doesn't call me. I text him 2 minutes later.
It's kind of
Clancy,
like a high school thing.
Call me. It's Tony.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Maybe
call
he's
me.
busy.
He's busy talking to a blonde girl.
That guy was never.
Oh,
So
I see,
I
I
finally
see, I
call him up
see.
5 minutes later. I go, hey, I told you to call me. He goes, well, you didn't tell me it was important. I was going to
Oh
call
my
you in a
God.
few minutes. I'm like, is that girl still there? Well, she just left. She handed out her card. I go, I wanted you to call me, you stupid. And then I went on. And he was like, you can't talk to me like that. I go fuck. And I hung up.
Kidding me?
Yeah. Because I wanted to
totally
get a
high school.
hold of him.
Yeah.
And,
This is why.
anyway, so he
Okay.
chose not to come back.
Yeah, you were rude to him. That was outrageous.
Yeah, he was rude.
Call
I mean,
me,
he has
call
been
me.
rude to
I
me
gotta call
several
you when
times.
you tell me to call you, and now you're mad at me.
I would have done it for, listen, when you're in the family.
Yeah,
Okay.
when you're a maid.
Hey, I
man,
told
you-
him, don't ever take sides against the family again, Clancy. And you know what? He's going to be fine until our mother dies. Then he's going to get whacked.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, you need to have thick skin. But it's a really interesting group. When my wife, the first time, she asked me, what the fuck are you doing with those dudes? You know, all white dudes. And I said, it's my English classes.
If you, I mean, I gotta be honest with
And,
you.
if I stay here and I
Inglés
hang
sin
out with
barreras.
you, Inglés sin barreras, there you go. Inglés sin barreras. So if I stay with you all day and hang out with people from work that I don't like, kind of like,
Oh,
someone that I
come
know,
on.
I would be speaking Spanish all the time, which is fantastic. I love it. It's my first language. But also, I want to learn English. I mean, as much as
And you'll
possible.
ask, too. You said to me, hey, if I say things that aren't
Yeah.
correct, let me know. So
Yeah.
I'm his, like, English fucking tutor.
No, and we have another one that is really great. Every time we go to a restaurant, you know, we're having breakfast or something, there's someone a waiter or a boss boy comes to me, say hi to me, or even if they don't know me, we start, because I see he's Latino, I'm Latino, we start speaking Spanish, and I go, oh, muchas gracias. So once we were doing that, and the guy is like, oh, sí, te conozco, Latino, speaking about, oh, yeah, I know you from TV. Oh, that's very nice. And then Tony goes like, are you guys talking about me? But with his face, like really mean. And this lady was with, oh no, sir, we're not talking about you. It's like, don't listen to him. He's just busting your butt.
I do it every single time.
And now it's a thing we have. Every time
right.
that someone starts speaking, he's like, and some guys take it good. Sometimes I remember this girl. Remember
The
a cute
woman
girl
from
at the
Denny's.
Italian place? Yeah.
Oh, no,
from
the other.
Yeah, from the Italian place. She started talking to me. She was a really beautiful girl, Latina and everything. And speaking in Spanish. She's like, are you talking about me? She's like, yes. You have a problem?
Now leave me alone. I'm talking to my favorite celebrity from time.
Yeah.
What do you have coming up? What are you doing next? Like, you got a lot of stuff going on, but
Yeah,
day you're doing VOs, you're doing stuff.
Where can we catch you?
Well, I started just working on a Cartoon Network show. It's called Victor and Valentino. And I'm doing a character there, and then probably gonna be working on another one.
Just Google his name, Rafael Sigler. He's all over the place.
All
And He's
right.
a funny guy.
We
you.
look forward to seeing you, and I was seeing that show
Wait,
on
15
Netflix.
minutes, 15 seconds.
We're gonna get
Okay,
to that,
I'm
my
sorry.
friend. Oh my God, Tony's so excited to have you here. That's all
He's
been
my
talking
only
about.
guest I booked.
I mean, he's fantastic.
She booked De Niro last week.
I gotta be honest, I was nervous coming in here. I mean, I love it. I mean, thank you.
No, we
it's
have
a
a good
pleasure.
time.
Yeah, it's because it's so nice. It's fantastic. I love to be here.
Just
I
tell
love-
the truth. Out of all the people at the coffee shop,
Oh, for
come
the
on,
love of Pete.
Who do I like the most?
come on.
The
Clancy.
blonde girl with- Clancy.
Clancy, and you got
That
rid
was
of him.
good. Actually, I saw him the other day, but I don't want to.
No, come on. Tell the truth though. Just say it.
No, I saw him.
Who do you laugh with the most?
You.
Okay.
I got it.
All right.
You know, him and I, we had a little act. We're quick, when it comes to like
We are
jokes and
quick.
stuff.
Yeah.
He has great timing, and people hate that. Specifically, one guy, John, the ex-mailman, he hates it.
So you
because-
can say something funny, but if it's not the right time, it's not funny.
and it's the timing. I remember when I was taking comedy classes, one guy decided to ask the teacher, Greg Dean, by the way, fantastic stand-up comedy teacher. This guy said, "Can you teach me timing?" And the guy goes like, "If you want to learn that, get the hell out of here, because I cannot. No one can teach you timing."
15 seconds.
Okay,
Yes.
so tell us where we could possibly catch you if you were on TV, not as the main guy, but like a minor part where some of our audience members could find you, maybe on YouTube. Is it an old commercial? Is it an...
Oh yeah, and I have some of the YouTube commercials, the Inglés sin Barreras commercials. There's some of them. I'm also doing a radio show for kids.
What's a small bit part that we could try to
Yeah,
discover
like were you an
in?
extra somewhere? On a
Oh, extra somewhere. Damn.
Or like a one-liner.
Other than that surveillance tape.
that they show me with my pants down.
Yeah.
And everything. Other than that, no. But I'll no.
Let's find that commercial then.
Let's find it.
Yeah, let's find it. Have
And
people.
believe me, I'm not totally proud about him. So you can. I mean, I love him at the time, but then when I go back and see him, I'm like, shit. What was I?
Just give us the tagline for that commercial, then we'll let you go.
No, I was no. It was just like Inglés sin barreras. I just say that.
That's
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Say it one more time and mean it. Give it to me again.
Inglés sin barreras.
We
Very
want to
good.
thank Rafael Sigler for coming to our show.
Thank you. It was
We had a
pleasure.
great time. Thank you for listening to the TNT podcast. If you like what you've heard, please give us a like, or better yet, subscribe to the TNT show on YouTube. If you want to join in the discussion or have a question, please add your voice to the comments section for each video, and we may read your question on the show. Thank you,
Ooh.
Rafael.
Thanks,
Yay!
Rafa.
Gracias, muchas gracias.